Hey, Erin is back from vacation. Woo!
Yeah!
Woo! She was down in the Caribbean on a cruise, and so...
I'm physically back, but I'm still not mentally back.
That's the hardest thing to come back.
Me and Kevin were
Doesn't matter
joking
where
about
you
this.
vacation
Yeah.
or how long. When you come back, it's the worst.
All
man.
week long, we were like, oh, poor Erin. She's going to come back on Monday and not want to do anything.
Oh, my God. So, we're going to dedicate this to her telling us all about her adventures. You were all over the place, too.
Yeah. Well, first, caught a flight to Dallas and then Dallas to Miami. Miami had a heck of a thunderstorm on Saturday. And so we were going to kind of go out and explore because we were going to get on the ship Sunday morning. But it was just, we didn't have a car. We could have Ubered and everything. We're just like, So we just hung out in the hotel all day and door-dashed and...
but a real nice hotel, I bet.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain, that's for sure. Did a lot of reading also. But boarded the boat or attempted to board the boat on Sunday morning. So Sunday morning, we catch a shuttle down to the port, and we handed off our bags to the porter. And if you've never been to Miami, first off, very proud of their AC, and it's set on sub-zero.
Which is Erin's worst nightmare.
It is. One of our flights was like that. Our flight from Dallas to Miami, they're like, we can't get the plane to cool down, so we're going to swap planes.
Hey, folks, we have it at morgue level today in the plane.
Well, the rest of the time, it was so cold. People who usually board planes in shorts and T-shirts, I actually saw one guy with his arms inside his T-shirt, and he's like hugging himself. Our teeth are chattering. I asked the flight attendant, I'm like, can I get a blanket?
You don't have a blanket?
She's like, I'm sorry, we don't have it. And I'm
Sorry,
like,
this is Miami.
Yeah,
We don't
you
have
just hear
blankets.
bing bong.
Yeah.
Attention, welcome to Dead Air. We're flying a couple of bodies. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
This is the morgue flight.
It was super duper cold. But anyway, so here we go. Fast forward to Sunday morning. We hand our bags off to the porter. And I had never boarded a ship in Miami before. I'd never used that port. We'd always done New Orleans.
Right.
And New Orleans is always real quick. And, you hand your stuff off. You go inside. The lines aren't very long. Before you know it, you're on the ship. It's great. Okay, well, this one, we are standing in this line in the sun, and it's not moving. It's 10 a.m. At this point, it's well over 90 degrees. And we don't know what's going on. Nobody has communicated what's going on. We're just noticing the lines aren't moving and we're in the sun and this just flat out sucks is basically it. People from Carnival would come by and they'd hand us, it was warm water. I didn't care. It was wet. So, drink some water.
But you're talking a cruise situation, so you probably had old people in that line too.
Oh, yeah. Kids, babies, old people, me. Yeah. Last year, Kevin and I kind of joked that last year was the first year we both got heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
So now
it's nothing to mess with, man.
It doesn't hit the same anymore. Whereas I could do things out in the heat and do it for extended periods of time. Now I can't. So I just kept thinking, and there's a group of 8 of us. And I just kept thinking, man, don't embarrass yourself. Don't be the one that goes down. But you kind of feel yourself starting to kind of drain.
Yeah.
And so we finally made it to the shade, and all of a sudden I hear this behind me. Our friend Tracy went down. So here comes a bunch of people come over, they bring a wheelchair, they take her inside, and my first thought is, oh my God, poor Tracy, that's awful. My second thought was, we're going to get to go to the front of the line.
Way to go to bat for the team.
We're going to go to the front of the line. And that's what happened. So
Wow.
a big shout out to Miami-Dade Sheriff's Department. Them as well as the fire department. There were guys from both sides that were helping Tracy out.
And Tracy for fainting.
Oh,
so.
gosh. She kept going, I just feel awful and I'm so embarrassed. And I'm like, been there. I know exactly what you mean.
But she did help everybody.
I was going to say,
moved
she took
them all
one for
up.
the team and got us all up in the front of the line.
Well, it's a weird feeling because it just kind of comes out of nowhere. You kind of feel off and then it just hits. But yeah, she, bless her heart, got to feeling better. We made it onto the boat. And from there, what I like about a cruise is you can be as active or inactive as you want to be.
That's awesome.
On sail days, there's all kinds of things to do all over the ship. We're big fans of trivia. We love to go to all these different trivias, and they'll have like general knowledge. They did have a Harry Potter trivia on there. They did have an office trivia
that'd be
on
good
there.
too.
Did they have Star Trek trivia?
No, because nerds weren't sailing. Kevin.
It was not a nerd cruise.
It's not a nerd cruise.
Got it.
No. But what's crazy about a cruise, if you've never been on one, is, I mean, the things that are available to you at like all hours of the day and night. It's crazy. Buffets. All of us, I mean, we just walk through the Lido deck where a lot of the buffets and stuff were, and we'd be like, yeah, gosh, I couldn't eat another bite. Oh, is that watermelon?
Yeah.
I couldn't eat another bite. Oh, hey, ice cream.
I think I told you once that the one cruise that I've been on, this was back in 1990, you eat so much.
Yeah.
There's always food available. And I used to say, you're either eating or you're waiting to eat, or you're talking about when you're going to eat next.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like so gluttonous. You're like, everyone's eating all the time.
Yeah. I felt like an English king. Bring me more mutton.
So I was rooming with my brother Johnny's girlfriend, Kathy. And I love Kathy to death. And a lot of the times you'll hear me say my sister-in-law. And that's what I look at her as because, she's been with my brother. Let's see, I've gotten a divorce, I dated, I met the husband, and we'll be married 10 years in October. So I'm like, you've earned sister-in-law rights. I'm throwing that out there.
At that point, yes.
But I went on this cruise with her and her family. So her nephew graduated high school, and then also her cousin was celebrating her 50th birthday. And they asked me if I wanted to go, and I'm like, yeah, I want to go. This is going to be fun.
Hello.
And we did. We had a great time. You can, if you want, drink a bunch on the cruise. Now, I'm a middle-aged lady, so I would have a cocktail with dinner, and that was about it. But yeah, there were some people who were definitely feeling no pain, if you know what I mean.
Did they have the captain's dinner? Did they do that?
That's something extra. It's kind of like an excursion
You
almost.
got to pay extra for the captain's dinner?
What did I just say, Hilly?
You got to pay extra for the captain's dinner?
What did I just say, Hilly?
You got to pay extra. Sorry, I was stuck. Okay.
I mean, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's not something that we did. But with this group, what is fun is we do something that I don't do all the time. We dress up for dinner. And that is kind of fun. We get
That is
fancy. We go to dinner. We sit down. And
I mean, you're on this Titanic-esque
Yes.
ship. You
And
know,
it's beautiful.
it's like you almost feel like you have to dress up a little bit, right?
And I almost feel like a fish out of water because everything's so fancy. And that's so the opposite of how I am and how I grew up. But it was definitely a special treat. And the food was great. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
But about 3.5, 4 days in, my stomach decided the food was a little rich. And
You're like, give me a ho-ho.
It was not, that part wasn't a pleasant experience. Let's just throw it out there. But it was not the cruise's fault. I'm just not used to eating like that.
Yeah.
But everything I had was, really good. You could get coffee anytime you wanted. I was a big fan of that. We splurged and got a balcony room. So that's where I liked to eat my breakfast. That's where I liked to read my book. Let's face it, I have weird hours. So when I would wake up before Kathy, I could just go out in the balcony door, read my book as the sun was rising over the ocean.
That
it was
been
great.
really, beautiful.
Yeah, this is my third cruise. And if you've never taken one before, I highly suggest everyone to take at least one once in their life.
Yeah.
Because it is a lot of fun.
I recommend it, Jordan. It's so
I
much
need
fun.
to.
If
I
you guys
need
can ever do
Trying
that.
to convince my wife to go out on the sea, though.
She doesn't have anything with
and that's how the
water or
husband
the
is,
ocean or anything like that, right?
No, she hates being out in the middle of the ocean.
I've had-
Yeah, so that would be the problem.
I've had friends point out, they're like, you never take the husband on these. I'm like, because he doesn't like being out on the open ocean like that.
Yeah.
I will
When
tell
he
you.
was younger, he lived in Oceanside, California, and he worked on a fishing boat. I think he made it a week and a half, but he got so seasick every single day.
Right.
He's terrified it's going to happen. I keep telling him, you're like on a big floating city.
You almost don't feel it.
You don't really feel it.
Right.
This time was the first time I actually felt one, but we had a storm roll through.
See,
so.
if you're susceptible though to, I get that. I understand the fear that. As I
You get
said,
these little patches that you put behind your ear, and then everyone who had issues with motion sickness used those patches and had a great experience.
the one that we were on, again, my wife and I, we've been married like maybe a couple of years at that point. This was 1991, I guess. But a lot of the other passengers were like a lot of honeymoon type couples.
Yeah.
And one of our ports of call was San Juan, Puerto Rico. And we were walking around. We stopped at the little street corner thing, and we're enjoying drinks and everything like that. Well, of course, I didn't follow the rule of don't drink the water. So I get back and suddenly, how do I put this delicately? It's coming out of both ends.
You had the problem I had.
And
You
I'm-
got a case of the padoodles.
I'm leaning over the deck on,
Oh.
and there's all these honeymoon couples looking on in horror at us. So
As they should have.
it was fun.
So with this cruise, it was a 6-day cruise. There were 3 ports of call. So the first one was the Bahamas. So in the Bahamas, we rode Jeeps. So we were driving around in these Jeeps, and these were like old Jeeps. Like we're talking like late 80s, early 90s Jeeps. But it was so much fun. We did some lookout points, and the water there in the Bahamas. It's that kind of blue that as you get close to it.
It's amazing.
They did look like the Jurassic Park Jeeps
Yeah,
now
oh,
that
yeah.
I think about it.
It's like so clear. I mean,
Yeah.
it's blue, but like you can just see right through it.
You see
And
right through down to your feet to the water. It's incredible.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we did that. We went to not exactly like a national park. It wasn't exactly that, but it was like kind of a sanctuary where they had a lot of native plants. There was a parrot that as you'd come in, you'd hear her go, hello, as she would walk.
Parrot?
Yeah, as she'd
That's
walk
awesome.
by. We ate lunch there. And it was just really pretty to walk around and see these waterfalls and just these cool native plants. Now, they did have some ducks, and they told us don't feed the ducks. And these ducks were white, and they had kind of like these little red, like kind of bumps along like their forehead and stuff. They were very unique looking. And it was great because like our tour guide, Mario, every time these ducks, they'd wait for Mario to leave.
Yes.
And then they'd hop up where we were eating, and they were just starting to kind of mosey towards us. And Mario would grab a broom, and he'd be like, "No, what did I just tell you? No."
Get away.
And they'd go running off. Then, like, not even 30 seconds later, here they come creeping
don't learn.
back. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen those ducks that have like it's
Yeah.
like it's almost like not growths, but it's part of their beak.
Yeah.
It looks interesting. Yeah.
So then after that, we went to a beach, and that's where we hung out for like a good hour and a half. And I'm very proud of myself this trip because I did not come back sunburned.
Yeah.
I
Well, you learned.
usually
You
do.
learned,
and the beach was great, and super sandy, and as the tides coming in, you could just feel like the sand just kind of disintegrating underneath your feet. I mean, it was
It's
great.
paradise.
It really is.
It's paradise.
So you gotta
really
love
is.
that. What I love too, is some of the pictures that you showed me, is that the beach is like unobstructed. Like there's not like a whole lot of kiosks or
Right.
people bothering you. Because I don't know, like
It's
some
very unspoiled.
some
Yes.
beaches have like been commercialized, and it's
Yes.
like you can't even enjoy the beach without being like haggled. You know.
Right.
No, you don't even have, as far what I remember anyway, you don't even have people coming up trying to sell you ice cream or anything like that.
No.
It's like, nope.
Yeah, that's
You're
the
just
kind of beach I
enjoying the
like.
nature.
There,
Yeah.
there was like one food stand, and it was like way, up, like as you're just first walking in, and they were selling like jerk chicken, and it smelled amazing, and they had barbecue chicken, like all these different things, and you could get drinks there if you wanted. But I mean, they were way, way, way up. There was a lady that came by and doing the whole braid your hair for $1 sort of thing.
braid your hair, honey. Braid your hair for
Yeah.
$1. Was it still $1?
Honestly, my hair was up in a baseball cap.
My wife
and I
remembers
was
that.
in the water,
Braid your
so-
hair. No, we're good. Thanks.
So after that, we drove back, got on the ship. The next day, we were. Hang on. I almost forgot where we were. Good grief.
That's all right.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say there's a lot of stuff going on.
I'm surprised you remember it all.
Well,
In order, anyway.
kind of.
I feel like it's like there's like a lot packed in that week.
It is. I mean, it really is. I mean, there's times where you're just kind of like sitting around doing nothing, and there's times where you're just like go, 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 go.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. The third port. Good grief. And I'm blanking.
You had Turks and Caicos.
Turks and Caicos was our third one.
Okay.
Why am I forgetting my second one? I had 3 fun things.
That's all right. Maybe I'll come back to you.
Let's hope so.
Okay, this
is all part of middle
You got to
age.
explain the story about. So Erin, out of nowhere, she texted us, and she has this ginormous gash, like from her forehead, like to her eye.
You probably can't really see it because I kind of did makeup on it.
I wish I knew how to put the picture on here, and I don't. But I would post the picture.
She gave us like a multiple choice. What happened? Like A, B,
Dominican
C, and
Republic.
D.
That's where I was.
There,
Oh,
there it was.
okay.
Okay, yeah, because we did a lot in the Dominican.
Was that the dune
Republic.
buggies?
We did dune buggies.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, we were going through like mud puddles and all kinds of really cool things. We went and saw squirrel monkeys. Squirrel monkeys.
Oh my gosh, she showed pictures and videos of this thing.
So squirrel monkeys they're no bigger than 2 pounds. So they're very compact, very small. They jump on you. They kind of jump from person to person. You hardly feel them. They're
so
amazing.
light,
and they're so fast and adorable.
She showed pictures of like one sitting on her head.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think like just a little bit bigger than a squirrel. Like they're not that big.
Yeah, they're
It's
not
a good comparison.
that big. And so the guy was telling us it was a sanctuary that these monkeys were at. And they said in the wild, because they're so small, there's predators, of course. They may last anywhere from 5 to 10 years. Like 7's doing really good. 10's like extreme old age in the wild. But at the sanctuary, because they're getting actual medical care, they're getting, proper food and all the care, they can live between 25 and 30 years.
The only predators are the tourists,
Nobody was eating.
Probably trying to feed them stuff they shouldn't.
No. It was a very controlled environment.
good.
You couldn't take food and drink in there.
No, that's really
the
cool.
things that you were feeding them were things that was provided.
Yeah.
So no, it was very controlled because there would be some jerk who'd be like, "Oh, you want this flaming hot Cheeto?"
Just to see what they do. Yeah.
So no, but that was a really cool experience. And then we did like a 25-minute hike, and it was funny because they kept saying, 5 more Dominican minutes.
Almost
And that's
there.
kind of like their running joke because like 5 minutes would actually be like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So we walked through to this waterfall, and I will say that we had an option to either slide down this natural water slide, so it's rock, or we could jump. So we would meet other people who were like coming back as we're going in. And they're like, if you have the chance, jump. Well, our tour guide made it sound like we could do just one or the other. You're either going to do the slide or you're going to do the jump.
Right.
So we get to this giant pool of water. We're wading in. Next thing you know, you can't touch. So you swim over. There's this large wooden ladder. And as you're climbing up, you realize, this ladder's, well, first off, been here a long time.
Yeah.
2, it's wet, so it's slippery. And I just kept thinking, don't be the person who slips and falls and takes down the whole ladder of people with you. Because we are just stacked up kind of like one, one under the other. So I didn't want to be that person.
Right.
So got up there and I realized, our group's still going. We got another ladder to go up. Okay, that's fine. So going up this ladder. And again, I'm thinking we can either just slide or jump. There's one or the other, no in between. So my sister-in-law was like, I'm going to jump. Her mom, who is amazing, Paula's in her 60s, and she's like, I'm going to go down the slide.
Ooh.
So Kathy's going to go down the slide. Paul's going to go down the slide. So I'm like, okay, those guys in the jungle said to jump. Why am I listening to random people I just met in the jungle?
How high is this again?
I think it was like close to 20 feet. I mean, it wasn't huge.
Okay.
But what's weird is it felt like a really long time before you would hit that water.
From the top, it probably looked like the end of the world.
I mean, it looked pretty high up there.
Mm-hmm.
But, you've got like a life vest on. You've got your little helmet on. And so when it was my time, the guy was like, okay, Erin, he goes straight as a pencil. So he wanted us to do this. And because there was somebody in the other group that he belly flopped. And
you can get hurt like that.
We knew he was in a lot of pain when he came back up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm doing just what he says, but I'm like, I don't want water jammed up my nose. So I did go plug the nose, jumped. Okay, it was great. I get out of there and I was like, whew, that was fun. And then Kathy's like, yeah, we got to jump again. What? Yeah, there were 2 jumps. There was only one slide. So if I would have known that, I would have slid.
Yeah, and then you could have
so I
jumped
done
into both. Yeah.
So we had to jump to get all the way down.
I got a question about this. So the slide, I know you said it's a rock slide. Is it a smooth rock slide or is it
I didn't go down it.
No, I know, but did they describe that to you at all after they had been on it?
I mean, she said it was smooth. I mean, they went in kind of like this, so they didn't hit elbows on the side or anything like that.
I'm thinking if it was like kind of a rough rock
they wouldn't
thing,
have let people slide down.
No,
there.
no.
I'd be jumping then too. Yeah,
they wouldn't let people slide down.
I did something similar in Arizona. There was it's like a natural like water slide, and it basically there's like algae and like the stone is super smooth.
It's super slippery.
And it's slick.
Think,
it's very slick too. So no, it doesn't scrape.
Given that, I'd go
that.
with the slide. Then. Yeah, I wouldn't be brave enough for the jump. So.
Well,
it's like a slip and slide, really.
Well, I was the moron going, I got to jump again. So that's what we did, and I took my helmet off, and my tour guide all of a sudden I just see panic on his face, and he's like, "What'd you do?" And I go, I jumped. I mean, like, I didn't know what he was talking about. Well, apparently I had blood running down my forehead.
This is the picture, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
anyway,
my gosh.
I had somehow gotten this scratch from like here down into my eyebrow. And he's like, how did you do that? And he's like, was it the helmet? Was your helmet on good? I'm like, yeah, I did everything you said. And I still didn't know what he was talking about because I hadn't seen myself yet.
Right.
And so anyway, he goes, all right. He goes, I want to get you medical attention. I'm like, is that necessary? Like, it didn't hurt. I didn't feel anything.
Right.
And he's like, no. He goes, let's go. So we go to this medical tent that's like, kind of set up in the jungle or whatever you want to say. And a guy who spoke Spanish. I don't speak any Spanish, but I mean, he seemed very nice. I don't know what he was saying, but he took the time to clean my forehead and, put some antibacterial stuff on it and sent me on my way. And my tour guide, he turns around and he goes, here, like when you were a kid. And he hands me this piece of candy. And I was like,
I like that.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
You went to a medicine man who could have like performed like voodoo rituals, so you don't even know. You're like, I don't know. I feel better though.
I could have like all the luck in the world, but no. We got back, and then the lady who was getting us from point A to point B to point C that day, she saw it and she didn't like it. So next thing I knew, I'm sitting in a doctor's office on site.
The worst, man. The worst.
And this doctor, she's
on vacation,
super,
Yeah,
she's super. Well, and I felt goofy because I'm like, it's a scratch.
Yeah.
But anyway, she goes, do I have permission to treat you? And I go, whatever you think. I said, they think I need to be in here. I said, they've already cleaned it, so I think I'm good. She's like, no, you've been walking through. You're hot and sweaty. Let's clean it properly, and I'm going to put a dressing on it.
I'm going to try to share a picture of this. Hang on just because hopefully I can do this. Tell me if you guys are seeing this clearly, all right? And I'm turning this around, so bear with me.
I was going to say, and also with that picture, that was actually probably about 2 days old, and I think I had a little bit of
Can you see it clearly?
On it.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So
but I can't see it, but what I'm showing.
So I'm sitting there, and she's like, do I have permission to touch you? And I'm thinking, how else are you going to clean this? Then I'm thinking somebody has sued them.
For sure.
Yeah. And she was just like, is it okay if I do this? Is it okay if I do that? And I'm like, I go, look, I said, this is something that is a total accident. You're good. Do what you need to do. So, she cleaned it out. She's like, oh, good. You don't need stitches. I'm thinking, crap. At this point, I still hadn't seen it.
Right.
Stitches? Oh, gosh. I'm going to have to call the husband and fess up before I get home.
I don't want to look like Frankenstein when I get back. You're
probably scared to even look in the mirror. You're probably like, what does this thing look like?
Hideous.
All I need is my head to be flat. What is that? It's
like Erin's head's like split open or something.
So anyway, she got it all cleaned out. She put some stuff in it. For a second there, I thought she might give me a shot because she was kind of like hanging out by some needles there for a minute, and I'm thinking,
step away.
But then she asked me if I wanted to do an incident report. I go, for me being clumsy? I said, no, that's not necessary. And she goes, well, you'd be surprised. And so what they think is when I was doing this and holding my nose, that when I hit the water, the impact forced my thumb up, and basically I cut my own forehead with my thumbnail.
See, I'm glad Erin wasn't one of those people thinking like, oh yeah, this might be some ka-ching for me.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Come on now. That's
exactly.
Not cool.
That's so wrong. You should never do that.
And that's not cool. But yeah, they were super nice. They took excellent care of me.
Yeah.
I shook her hand when when we were done and told her thank you, and got back on the bus. So it wasn't until we got on the ship that I got to looking, and I was like, crap.
Yeah.
That is noticeable. Like, I was really kind of hoping that they were making a big deal over nothing.
I bet you her words were not, oh, crap.
Yeah. So then we did a cruise day at sea, and then it was Turks and Caicos. So we were on Grand Turk, and this was a dune buggy day.
Right.
So what I did not know about Turks and Caicos is there are tons of donkeys. We're talking donkeys everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're protected.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, by their government. So you would see donkeys walking along the side of the road.
Yeah.
You would see some of them walking along the sidewalk. You'd see them in fields. You'd see them down by the ocean. You'd see them everywhere. They were
everywhere. Friendly enough? Can you pet them, or do they?
Well, I pet some. Our tour guide was like, be careful. They bite and kick. And
well, don't go behind them.
Well, yeah, that's common sense right there. You never go behind an animal like that. But a lot of people do feed them. Like, they sold carrots that you could feed them and like some feed and stuff. But once you fed them, I mean, they were following you.
They're your friend forever. Yeah.
They were your friend at that point. Oh, you give me food.
Yeah.
I'm going home with you, lady.
I scratched a couple of them behind the ear and stuff like that, and they realized, oh, she has nothing in her hands. We're gonna
forget it.
We're gonna mosey on.
Done with you, lady.
Yeah, but
bye,
no,
Felicia.
we drove around. I mean, we went through like a rock quarry down by the beach. We did. Went through like some neighborhoods and stuff. I mean, it was fun.
Yeah,
we had
cool,
a great time.
That's awesome.
So, in those places, did you? I mean, obviously you're in a tourist spot.
Sure.
Did you get outside the tourist areas at all?
Yeah.
Did you see like poverty and like a lot of poor people?
Big time.
Yeah.
I mean, all three. There was a lot of poverty, and you'd sit there and be like, "Oh my gosh, they have so little," but they were also so happy.
That's something I noticed in Nassau, in Bahamas, that so many poor people. I mean, stuff that just average, even lower income people here appear wealthy compared to them.
So-
We don't realize how good we have it in this country.
We really do. With the Bahamas, there were some areas that were very kind of desolate looking, and I'd forgotten. I mean, they were hit with hurricanes. There were several, like back to back, a couple of years ago, and they have these pine trees that aren't like our pine trees. They're kind of like, for lack of a better word, they're kind of like Dr. Seuss pine trees, as in like they're very tall, and then they have just kind of like, here's some pine, here's a little pine, here's a pine, and a little sprig on top. That's what they look
Almost
like.
a Charlie Brown Christmas
They
tree.
were very interesting, but you would see a lot of just the trunks with no branches, no green on them, because those were remnants from the last hurricane.
Wow.
Yeah. But again, super nice people. They were excited to show you their country. They were excited to show you their town. Couldn't have been a better experience.
Very sweet demeanors to them.
Yeah. And I will tell you, if you do go on a cruise and you do book an excursion, book it through the cruise company. And here's why. You might go, well, that seems kind of expensive. I can go over here and, this guy's selling a tour for $60. I'll do that instead. Don't. One, if that person is late with you, doesn't matter. Carnival doesn't know that you've gone with them. Bye. They're just going to leave you.
And plus the cruise ones are a little, how do I put this, a little better
Safer.
regulated.
I would say safer.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, you don't know.
I would say these people are insured and know where they're going. I think give you the most bang for your buck. Every tour we took, they couldn't have been kinder, nicer, super accommodating. Very, again, nice, and friendly. It was a great experience.
The other thing with that too is if you book with the cruise, if there's a problem
and they have to cancel, you get your money back.
You have somebody to address. If something you didn't like about it or whatever, you can talk. If you talk to Joe Blow, who's running this excursion, he's like, oh, well, I guess don't book with us next time. You know what I mean?
With the Blow family.
Yeah.
Well, in my
generally, the Blow family is very good.
Well, and these people on these excursions and stuff like that, or will take you on these tours, like they probably know the area better than these other people too, right? Like they probably are also gonna be like, you probably should stay away.
They've done it multiple times.
Yeah. Like they're gonna tell you, don't go to that area. Stay away from this part. Explore this part, kind of situation.
Oh yeah. I mean, they were like, we're gonna take you back. You're gonna have so many hours left.
Yeah.
If you're hungry, check out this place to eat. Oh, hey, I know the family that owns this. They'll take great care of you. Do this. And it was just kind of nice to have some kind of insider, because our rules always, we're not going to eat fast food of any kind when we're taking these trips. Like we want the local flavors. We want the local food.
That's our rule too. We're like, if there's a restaurant that we can eat at home, we're not eating there.
Do you wonder about McDonald's in Nassau though?
Is it a little different?
No.
What if all of a sudden you go to the McDonald's in Nassau and it's like you can get like bass? Like it's like there's some fish.
Bass.
Yeah. Here's some grouper for $13.99. What?
That's funny.
So on the way back, we had multiple flights, but multiple layovers too. And, you do hit that point in the trip where you're having a great time, but at the same time, I'm like, man, I miss the husband. I miss our two fur balls at home. I was ready to go home. So got up at like 6:30, and that was another thing, sleeping in. Because I'm not used to sleeping in. There was a couple of mornings I would make it till like 6:30. I'm like, wow. So
you get so used to getting up so early. Yeah.
And so we got off the ship. We had to be off by 8:30. So the night before, you have to put your bags out so the porter can pick them up, and then they put them in these areas so when you get off the ship, it's easier for you to find them and go. So we got off the ship at 8:30 in the morning. So we had a little bit of breakfast before we left. That was nice. And then we had to wait for our shuttle, and it took them an hour to get there. Now, we had a little bit of shade, which was nice, but it was still hot, super hot, and we were sweating in areas that we're not going to mention because it's just sloppy, let's say.
It's funny what you said, though, because it's true. And I think, Jordan, you probably relate to this, too. Because you were gone for almost 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was about like 2.5 weeks, yeah.
And when you're on vacation or visiting or on a trip or whatever, for whatever reason, I know whenever we go back east to see family and everything, I love seeing them. I love being back there and, doing all the local things I remember growing up and everything. But usually by the end, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of vacationed out. I want to get back home and get to my routine.
Oh, yeah,
Isn't
100%.
that funny how that happens?
Yeah,
you so look forward to being away, but then it's like, all right, I've had my fill.
Once you've gotten that kind of fill, you're like, okay, now I want to go back home.
Right.
My dogs, my cat.
We had done this thing before we left with the hotel that we had left with. We were actually staying at another hotel. So get this. This is pretty cool and pretty ingenious. And I don't know if they do this in other big cities or not. But there was this hotel in Miami called the Pullman. It's very fancy, very swanky. But you could rent it for like a room for like a 7-hour block. And they do this for travelers who, you get off a cruise ship and you've got to wait so long before your flight.
We're going to hang out in a cafe for 7 hours, But
it was awesome because, if we wanted to take a nap, we could take a nap. Their pool was huge and amazing. And we had a great view of it. And they had like this huge waterfall coming. I mean, it was a gorgeous hotel.
That's a great idea, actually, for the hotel to do that.
Instead of spending time just, twirling your thumbs at the airport or whatever, be like, let's just stay here.
They're actually making a little ka-ching from the travelers, too, with that.
Exactly.
So, and you said it was a discounted rate, too, for that?
Yeah, it was a discounted rate, which was cool, but we just had a really great experience. They were super nice, and then they had a shuttle that would leave every half hour to get you to the airport. So we had the room until 6 o'clock. Now, our flight wasn't until 10 p.m., but hey, that was 7 hours we didn't have to spend at the airport. Now, at this point, we were just going to spend 4 hours. So we had a flight from Miami to Tampa. So we were on the
Which
flight.
is on for what?
it was about an hour.
Really? That long? I'm surprised,
But then that's where the real long layover was because we didn't have a flight until 7 that morning. So we got in at 11 p.m. that Saturday night and then had to wait till 7 a.m. on Sunday morning.
So no fancy hotel to
pick
your feet up. Yeah.
See, that happened to us one time. We had like a 9-hour layover in Queens one time. And me and my wife were like, in Queens. And me and my wife were like,
JFK, you mean?
No, it was not JFK, it was Newark.
Newark. Okay.
Yeah.
New Jersey,
Jersey. And we were there for 9 hours. Me and my wife were like, we could just probably drive to New York for a little bit.
For 9 hours. I know. People who live in Newark don't want to be there for 9 hours.
I know. And we were just sitting there like trying to find things to do. I'm like, we should just go to the city for a while, to be honest.
You're there.
Well, like my sister-in-law, like her nephew, the kid's 18. He can sleep anywhere. He's also like almost 6'8". So he was like crashed out on the floor. There's nobody around us. I think we were like the only people in that terminal overnight.
It's amazing how you can sleep at that age, though.
Oh,
it's
I
true.
know. It was insane because he's like, I think I'm just going to lay down for. And I'm like, how does he do that?
To be young, man.
I know.
I remember those days.
But I could not. I can't sleep sitting up. I knew if I attempted the floor that I would probably never get back off
Erin would still be there.
I read for the 7 hours.
Yeah, no, I can't just. Some people can fall. I can't even fall asleep in a car. Like some people can sleep well in a car. Yeah. Max 15 minutes for me, and that's it. I wake up.
Yeah.
The movement of the car, you hit something, I just can't get relaxed.
You a worried sleeper in the car? Like if somebody else is driving, you're like every little jump.
Not even that. It's just I can't get comfortable in a car. Right. Like I need to fully lay down. I need to be able to sprawl out, and you just can't do that in a confined car.
Erin was telling the story this morning on the air about the woman on the plane.
Oh, hang on, I haven't gotten to her
you didn't
yet.
get that? Okay, I want to make sure you didn't skip over it.
Oh, no. So we get on our 7 a.m. flight from Tampa to Dallas. So that was the next thing. When we landed in Dallas, then we had 17 minutes to get to our next flight, and that was in a whole nother terminal. So we were really cutting it close. Like we had just gotten there, and thankfully that flight, they had some type of delay. So yay, we had a little time to sit down and kind of catch our breath. But we got on our final plane, and it was just a little bit smaller plane than what we'd had on the rest of the excursion. So it was like 2 seats over here, 2 seats over there. So I'm sitting in the in the aisle, and there's this woman directly across from me, and I dubbed her the female Kevin Hilly, and here's why. Because
Scintillating personality?
one of my
Okay.
pet peeves is people who just open mouth cough, especially in confined areas.
Like that, yeah,
with
yeah.
oh no, I mean we're not talking a little. I'm talking the old Kevin Hilly.
Oh, goodness sakes.
Combined with clearing your throat, yeah.
Whole flight she was doing this.
Oh,
and
my
I'm thinking,
gosh.
and I glance over at her. I'm like, okay, she's about Hilly's age. Did no one ever teach her the or
Yeah, the whole,
like
that
everybody
whole thing,
else
yeah.
does? And I just kept thinking, man, this is it. I've had the great trip, and I'm going to catch some sort of throat funk
On the
And
plane.
this lady next to me because she open mouth coughs.
Oh, my God. At least she was across the aisle, not sitting next to you, but...
Kevin, dude, she was like a foot from me, man.
Oh,
It wasn't.
man.
It's not like those aisles are that wide.
Okay.
Let's be
all right.
honest.
Oh, man.
So,
Now, especially not coughing like that. You probably got
man.
you're like got phlegm like hitting you. You're like, lady, close your mouth.
At one point, I'm in my
Dead,
purse and
you
I'm
know?
going, please just have a rogue cough drop. That way you're not rude. You're trying to be helpful.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find anything. But we landed. Everything was great. We got our stuff. 30 minutes later was home. And it's so funny because when you travel for like basically almost 36 hours like we did, it's a really weird feeling because in my head I'm going, it's got to be like what, 7 o'clock?
You lose
almost
track
8?
of time. Yeah.
It was
it's weird.
noon.
Yeah.
It was so weird. So she drops me off at the house. The husband opens the door, and there's the 2 dogs. And Gemma's wagging her tail. She's all excited. Magnus has his rope in his mouth, and he just kind of looks and dropped his rope. And I'm like, okay, he missed me. So I get into the house. He grabs his rope, hops on the back of the couch, and he's trying to give me his rope. And I'm like I've been in the house 4 seconds. No, I'm not going to throw
Let's
your
resume
rope.
where we left off.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Gemma, bless her heart, she's 10 and a half. She's got her big eyes. She's all looking at me all moony-like, and she's following me from room to room.
Like I thought you were never coming back.
And I'd stop and I'd pet her and I'd be like, oh, how's my good best girl? And she'd wag her tail. I went to the bathroom. I come out. She's sitting right there. And I'm like, seriously? She did not let me out of her sight. And so the husband was like, okay, we can catch up on House of Dragons. And I'm like, that sounds great. And I'm like, boy, you know what sounds good? Taco Bell. Doesn't that sound good? I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to take a shower. Maybe he'll go get Taco Bell. No, he made us tacos, which I have to admit, it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
You got to keep her there.
So we're
man.
sitting there, and he finally goes, he pokes me in the shoulder. He's like, go to bed.
Yeah.
And I go,
Good
what?
advice.
Why? He goes, you've slept through like over half of the show. I'm sure you're going to have no idea what's going on. And I go, well, what time is it? Was it like 6, 7? He goes, it's almost 3. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
in the afternoon? Okay. So I did not argue.
It completely screws with your system.
It really does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, younger Erin could have bounced back no problem. 48-year-old Erin, I almost, and I the thought crossed my mind, and this never crosses my mind. I thought, if I text my boss, would he let me have one more day? And then I thought, no, don't be that person.
He
You know.
would've, yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, I laid down on my back. I woke up on my back. Like I did not
Never
move.
moved. How about that?
From almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 2:45 in the morning. I didn't wake up to go to the bathroom. I did nothing.
You know,
I was out.
in the vein of time, and Jordan, you experienced this too. If you fly to Europe,
Yeah.
they simulate night on the plane
Yeah.
while you're sleeping. They make you close the window, no lights, so that when you get to England or Europe or wherever you're going, you're kind of in sync with
Yeah, a
the
little
local.
bit.
But
A little bit.
It doesn't work exactly, but I
No.
get the idea.
But
No, I mean,
I do
didn't-
appreciate it. They turn off
Yeah.
the cabin lights.
Right,
They normally
right.
they're like
Everybody close your
it's
window.
a nighttime
even
experience.
though it's daytime.
Yeah,
It's daytime outside right
Yeah.
now.
Nope. I just rocked my Kindle that whole flight because I can't sleep I can't sleep sitting up.
Yeah, and they never let you put your seat back all the way that you would like
Exactly.
to.
Not enough, you know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, you're cramped on the plane
Even
anyway.
first class doesn't.
I'm all leg.
Yeah.
It's that doesn't work. So,
I can sleep on a plane until we hit turbulence, and then I'm awake, wide awake. I'm like, I felt falling out of the sky, so I'm not going to sleep anymore.
But no, it was a great trip. The husband was like, that's it. That's the last trip you take without me. And I go, start liking tropical locations.
Yeah.
I like tropical locations. Yeah. You don't.
Heck, I would just go because I'd be like, I want to spend time with my wife. I might not like tropical locations, but it'll be all right.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
No, yeah. And here's the deal. I mean, we go plenty of places together where we do enjoy. But I've also told him, I'm like, look, I'm only on this rock once.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a lot of things I want to see and then I want to do and I want to experience. And if you're in, awesome. If you're not, don't be upset.
You're still going to do it.
When I say, I'll see you in a week, because there's things I want to see.
Yeah.
I got to hit, 3 countries that I did, 3 places that I definitely wanted to check out and, got those off my bucket list. So it was a great trip.
That's awesome. I got to do a cruise. I really do.
Yes.
Yeah, they're fun. They're
you
really,
would love it.
I think really, so. I really fun. And I'm telling you, and I know you, dude, you like to eat.
I do.
There's plenty of eating opportunities.
I like to eat.
And Jordan, honestly, if you did a cruise line like Carnival, tons of families, tons of kids, and lots of things for the kids to do.
They've really upped their game with kids.
They
and all
had
now.
like a Dr. Seuss themed breakfast one morning.
That's really cool.
Cool water
slides. But it's cool for the adults too. It's not like just kids. Like there's plenty of stuff that the grown-ups want to do too.
Sure.
Now I'm thinking they need to make like an Enterprise like voyage. Can you imagine a Star Trek only Enterprise looking like ship on the water? Can you imagine? You would go immediately.
Well, they have Star Trek cruises.
I bet you they do.
They do.
They need to do that. I feel
that
like
would be my happy place.
More
themed
really cruises. How cool that'd be.
Yeah, I mean, they have things where like you can go with your favorite band.
They have Harry Potter cruises.
You can go with your favorite TV show character, whatever.
Oh, that's really cool.
They've got tons of
they give the stars or whatever of that the free thing obviously, and with the draw being, hey, come spend a week with such and such.
Yeah.
Not that you're necessarily going to see such and such because he's not going to bother with you, but
But you're on the cruise with that person,
Captain Kirk.
William Shatner.
Well, I believe we've come to the end of this cast.
Yeah,
I think so.
Quick.
By the way, this is a brand new record for the length of the cast.
I think so.
We've never done one this long before, so.
Can't help it. I did a lot of stuff.
I'm telling you, man, it was good. So thanks for checking in, and make sure you give us a subscribe. Jordan, can you hit the subscribe button there? Do you know where it is?
You know what? I think I do.
Did we mess it up?
I got you.
You just knocked yourself out.
Did I? Like and subscribe?
There it is. Okay.
It's over there.
Like and subscribe. Thanks.
I got it figured out.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, that's another edition.
Invite me on your next trip.
Exactly. That's another edition of the cast. Thanks.